Hello, my name's Rachel and I'm the RSE teacher at Step 2 Young People's Health. This video is about sex and substances. When we take substances, they lower our inhibitions. Inhibited people can become more antisocial and anxious. The substances affect our mood, behaviour, actions and reactions. They can remove inhibitors, leading to more risky behaviour. So what we think might be sensible on a normal day, we might think is boring when we've had alcohol. We might try to jump off a really high wall because our sense of risk has gone. And of course, things like that can lead to injury. Alcohol and substances make us less likely to consider consent fully. The definition from the Sexual Offences Act is somebody consents only if she or he agrees by choice and has the freedom and capacity to make that choice. Alcohol and drugs significantly reduce the capacity to give consent. If you are impaired by drugs or alcohol, it affects your inhibitions, it affects your ability to make sensible decisions, and therefore you might make decisions that you would not normally make. For example, to have sex with somebody, or to have sex without a condom, or to engage in other risky practices. There was in England a considered university rape crisis. That's the term that a lot of the media outlets used. There were lots of reports of people being raped after nights out, that their complaints weren't always listened to or dealt with by the universities. Some of the rapes were carried out under the influence of substances, so the victim had been drinking or had taken drugs, and that led to a lot of victim blaming and victim shaming and people saying, well, it wouldn't have happened if you'd not had the alcohol. It's your fault because of what you were wearing. You were wearing a tiny skirt on a night out or something along that line, therefore making it that person's fault. I'd like to be very clear that some of the victims were male as well. It wasn't just about female rape. And a lot of people were reporting that photos were being taken of them naked whilst they were under the influence of substances. Some people had no idea that they'd been raped until videos or pictures surfaced the day afterwards because they'd been unconscious through drink or drugs. Chem sex is slightly different. This is sex under the influence of psychoactive substances, and it's usually among men who have sex with men, also known as MSM. Often a combination of drugs is taken to ensure that the sex lasts longer, and it's often with multiple partners. So it's very different to the rape cases, because in these cases the idea is to take the drugs on purpose to make the sex supposedly better, to make it last for longer. In these cases, because people are under substances and they have less inhibitions, they're more likely to not use contraceptives, and therefore that could lead to them picking up STIs, especially if it is for the purposes of having sex with multiple people at the same time. Often these drugs are injected, which come with their own dangers. There's dangers of mixing drugs and alcohol and how people are going to be able to react to those. And it gives you a significantly reduced awareness of what is going on around you. So I did say that victims could be male or female. So even in these cases, there can be rape. So you may have consented to chem sex and to have drugs and to have sex with various people. But if you become significantly incapacitated to the point where you can no longer give consent, or that you can choose what it is you want to do while you're in these situations, then that could still become a rape or a sexual assault. I've mentioned previously there can be lots of victim blaming. They were asking for it. They were coming on to me all night, so yeah, I had sex with them. Yeah, they were a bit drunk, but so was I. It doesn't matter. If they hadn't drunk that much, it wouldn't have happened, would it? It's not just the perpetrator trying to get themselves out of it and gaslight the victim. It's also when stories are portrayed in the media about people saying, well, she was asking for it, or he was asking for it, or what did they expect going out dressed like that? To blame somebody for being raped, that's absolutely not okay at all. It is rape because it is not a choice. It is rape because there is no consent. These people did not consent to have this happen to them. They did not want it to happen to them. And there are so many cases out there of rape that are not prosecuted because of a lack of evidence. Those people end up feeling really isolated, silenced and alone. And a lot of that is down to victim blaming. Hopefully we can move towards a society where we support rape survivors and we can let them know that they're not alone and that people are listening to them. And lots more people have been able to come out in public and say, yes, I was assaulted. No, it wasn't my fault. This is what I've learned from my experience. If you would like further information and advice, we have some charities here that work specifically with people who have been raped and who are survivors of abuse. So you've got the three at the top, you've got Bradford Rape Crisis, you've got Survivors UK, and you've got the National Rape Crisis Centre. Drugwise provide information about drugs, alcohol and tobacco. They have a service directory on their website so that you can go on there and find extra information about substances and support for how to potentially stop taking substances or the dangers of taking substances. Hetties support families where there are drug and alcohol misuse issues. The Bridge Project in Bradford can support people with concerns around substances and various other things that may be causing an issue. You also have Step 2 James and Hale on there. We are working together to deliver a contract from Bradford Local Authority, and we can deliver relationships and sex education across the Bradford district. We are more than happy for people to get in touch with us individually to ask us for extra help and support. You can see the Step 2 website is on there. Professionals can go on there and sign up to receive our newsletter. We've got our social media handles there, and of course there is various videos on YouTube that can be accessed. If you or someone you know are experiencing issues around substances and are making risky decisions because of that reliance on substances, please do consider seeking support. There are lots of people out there who want to help you.